This video is brought to you via the Doctrine of Fair Use, the Fair Dealings Act. We're covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Law, as well as the Digital Millennium Act. And Mira Andreeva is simply amazing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Good Energy. Welcome to Tennis in a Minute. This is the late night segment where, look, we just want to talk tennis after dark. Mira Andreeva, the 17-year-old, coming off of her first main tour championship in Romania, where she destroyed Noya Agugu, Sasnovich, Bosovic, Olga Danlovic, and Elena Evanesian. She is fellow Russian, by the way. Mira's 17, and she is just dominating these older adults on tour. Can she win Cincinnati? Look, she's going to have a tough match against Jasmine Polini next. We're going to cover that match, and I'll give you a prediction. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, what she did today against Karolina Pliskova, former world rank number one, was simply amazing. Just too deep, too powerful for Pliskova to return. Pliskova just had no chance to win this match. Mira Andreeva to win this match in straight sets plus money, and she comes through. Boy, does she look good. Pliskova, wow. I'm telling you guys, this was a great win for Mira Andreeva. And let's also take a look at Yulia Putintseva from Kazakhstan by way of Russia. She takes out Coco. Now, we're going to get into it, guys. We're going to talk about Coco. This video, let's have a conversation, guys, okay? Comment below, what do you think is wrong with Coco? Because I did a video a few days ago, and I shared some thoughts, and I don't think people understand. And I'm going to go there today, ladies and gentlemen. Look how pumped up Yulia Putintseva was in this match. And just look at Coco, her facial expression. She looks down. Looks like she's just not into it. Is her mind somewhere else? Her thoughts look like she's somewhere else. It looks like she doesn't want to be there. Listen, guys, service game 3 and 4 of the first set, Coco just dumped everything into the net. It just looked like she wasn't even trying. Now, she did come on. She broke back in the first set. It seemed like she got her composure. The crowd was cheering for her. She's the champion. This was by far the most seats, the most tickets sold in this tournament so far. Literally, this was the largest crowd in this tournament to see Coco, the defending champion, on American soil. And I don't want to say she disappointed. She just looked like she wasn't into this match. The same with when she played against Diana. Her mind is elsewhere. Listen, look, maybe it's not part of the script, but the reality here is she did not look like she was playing. She didn't look like she wanted to be there. And I talked about relationships, okay? For those of you that are not aware, it's big news. Coco has a boyfriend, ladies and gentlemen. It's big news. A lot of the announcers, the former players, the Hall of Fame players, the commentators, they've been talking about Coco's boyfriend. And I say this time and time again, ladies and gentlemen, when you are a professional tennis player, okay, I'm not going to just say athlete. I'm going to say tennis player because tennis takes a lot of dedication. Okay, we're talking about your sleep patterns, waking up, going to sleep. We're talking about practicing your diet, your nutrition, game film, working with your coach, okay? Rest, recovery, anything in between. It's a full-time job. When you get a boyfriend, when you start dating, that's time you're now taking away from your craft. We're not even talking about the business deals she has, all the endorsements. Every time I turn on the TV, I see Coco, okay? She's that big. She's big time. Okay, the press, the media obligation. She's got a lot going on. Okay? A lot. And if you want to spend more time with your boyfriend, the easiest way to do that is lose in the first round or second round of a tournament. You got a whole week. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, I've said this time and time again. Something has to give. And look, it's not Coco. I've said this about all the players. When they start these new relationships, that's time away from their craft. And look, I've talked about this in the past. Why do 95% of the players on tour not have children? Because they understand the commitment it takes, to being a parent, the commitment it takes to being in a dedicated relationship. I think when you're possibly, when you're married, I think there could be more of a support system, but I think age has a lot to do with it. When you're 20 years old, 21 years old, when you're a young adult, listen, guys, I don't know where you guys are from, but the reality here is dating nowadays is very complicated, especially for these young teens. And just watching Coco, I'm seeing every human emotion possible on the tennis court lately. And the reality here is just being a young adult, I think it could be a distraction. Now listen, guys, it's not just Coco. I mean, look at Anna Kalinskaya. Since she came out and announced she's with Sinner, she's been playing horrible. And this happens with a lot of the, look at Badosa, look at all the stuff she went through. you know I mean, you do have players like I think the players that we've seen get married, I mean, even then you can't, but I do think marriage is a bit different, but nonetheless, I don't know if it's the relationship. I think more than not, it's just the game style that she's been playing lately. But I do think, though, if you find the right partner, and age doesn't matter, right? It really doesn't. If you find the right partner, it could be a good support system and kind of help you reach your goals, keep you positive, but it's got to be the right partner. And just being so young, I mean, Coco's got a good support system. Her parents, she's an amazing, classy lady. Her family is just been so influential with her success and all she's achieved. But it just seems like something is bothering her. And again, this is allegedly, it's speculation. It's not anything that is concrete. But the reality here is, I think the big issue is, I think she's playing too hard, too physical, too fast, and too strong. I would like to see her channel a little bit more positive emotion, even when she's making mistakes. Take a look at Osaka, right? When Osaka makes a mistake, she smiles. I think Osaka has the best ass for a ball from the ball kids, right? If you will. That came out a little bit weird, but I think she asks the ball kids for the balls better than anyone else, right? She smiles, she puts her heads up and gives a nod. It's just so classy and elegant. So I think Osaka is just, I would love to see Coco take a page from Osaka's book, or even Putinseva's book, where she can get pumped up and use that emotion to channel better results, right? Now, some people play good angry, some people play good mad and upset, some don't. Personally, I've seen Coco more than not play her worst tennis when she's upset and gets down at herself. So I would like to see her channel that effectively. I do think it will take a mental coach. And the reality here is, if her boyfriend is that type of support system, maybe he can help her through it. It's possible. I think the jury's out. But I mean, I necessarily don't think the issue's her boyfriend. I really just think that when you're a champion, there's a lot of pressure on you to defend. You see, as watching as much tennis as I do, you see a lot of ladies, they don't even bother defending their titles because there's so much pressure on them. So I think it's a combination of that. We'll pivot to France for a bit. I think France was a nightmare for most Americans. I think a lot of Americans went over there and they just kind of got lost in the hype and they were not focused. There was a big controversy about USA tying medals with China. And the reality here is, I don't know, can we not count medals? Can we not do basic addition? Because China's saying they won more. Listen, I don't know. And quite frankly, I don't really care. But the reality is, I think a lot of Americans went over there and they weren't focused. It was like a party. Like, I was in Paris. It was like a party, guys. It was like a party. I'm telling you, it was a big party. And the reality here is, I personally think that, I think just Pegula said it best. A lot of the ladies aren't playing their best tennis right now. They're not in form. And I think Coco's there. Man, look at Coco's physique. She doesn't look like she's in her best form. And that makes me wonder, why not? Right? And that's where, look, go back, rewind the video, listen to the early part of the video. She's not in her best form. Why? I'd probably say Paris had something to do with that. And Iga will take a page from her book as well. Iga says, look, you're not going to be in your best form all throughout the year. She tries to be in her best form at least 5 times within the calendar year. And looking at Coco, she's not in her best form. And I think the fact that she's trying to play power tennis is contributing to why she hasn't looked good the last couple of tournaments. Look at the unforced errors. She's committing twice as many unforced errors as her opponents. I think she served okay today, but again, she's playing too big, too strong, too powerful. And I just think it's gonna make the faster and stronger you strike the ball, the harder it is to control. This is a fact. This is tennis 101. The heavy hitters make the most mistakes. And the fact that her game is trying to be transitioned into this power hitter, I just don't think it suits her. Not everyone can play like Sabalenka, and not everyone wants to play like Sabalenka because she makes a lot of mistakes. And she's beatable. Sabalenka's lost just as many matches. And here's the scary thing about the 2, 3, and 4th ranked players on tour. They've literally won just about the same amount of matches the last 3 years, the same amount of championships, and they've lost just about the same amount of matches. That's scary, 2, 3, and 4. I mean, if you think about it, that's probably your real big 3, right? If we hold Iga, in a class of her own. But the reality here is I do think Coco's not in her best form. I think she's playing too strong. She's playing too physical. And look, being a defensive powerhouse like her, she beats her opponents by wearing them down and using her athletic ability. Longer rallies, right? Playing smart. The fact that, and Coco's tiny, she's pretty small. The fact that she's trying to play big and overpower a lot of these opponents, I don't like the game plan. It's like she's not Andy Roddick. But the reality here is I do think that's Brad's style. And look, I think Brad's a good coach. I don't know if he's right for Coco. I think, and I've said this since last year, right when Rebus left, I said, it's not good. I think Rebus was a better coach for her. I just think he was his style. Look what he's doing with Queenwin. That's amazing. But I see a lot of mistakes out of Coco, and you have to fine tune it. I don't like the game plan against Diana or Yulia. Again, you have players that will beat themselves, and she's trying to play hard and blast them off of the court. Do you guys need help putting together these game plans? You don't beat Diana or Yulia like that. They will beat themselves. And much so Yulia, she'll beat herself. You don't need to try and blast her off the court. Now, I did feel in the second set, Coco played her true game. That second set was how she would play Yulia. But nonetheless, in the third set, she would end up losing. And what's next for Coco, guys? Is she going to defend her championship at the U.S. Open? What do you guys think? Comment below. Me personally, we're going to go back to Pegula. I think Pegula said it best. Look, there's sloppy tennis being played. Not in those exact words, but she said there's sloppy tennis being played. A lot of the ladies are not in their best form. And to be honest with you, the tours lately has been tough to watch. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't think it's a good product they're putting forth right now. And of course, good energy. Look, I had surgery. I've been away, taking some time to recover. Not 100%, but I'm probably about 70%. So I'm getting there. So I'm still not taking a lot of time to create content, as again, I'm focusing on my health right now. So, but I would say that the product that I've seen I don't think it's a good product. I think it's sloppy. I think we hit a peak, headed into Wimbledon where the product was really good. But after the Olympics, the slowdown, whatever you want to say, the Olympics all slows down all sports that are active at the time. I just think the Olympics really hindered the product. DC, very sloppy tournament. Montreal, very sloppy tournament. And so far, Cincinnati, it's been a very sloppy tournament, So I do think the product has improved for the U.S. Open, the biggest stage on earth, the biggest tennis arena, indoor. Arthur Ashe will be there. And it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. But I do think Coco, she's going to face some challenges if she's going to defend her title, some big time challenges. This might be the last time we see her as a number 2 seed because Sabalenka could pass her, you know, and we're going to see if Sabalenka can go deep in this draw. But Pegula, again, I'm going to pivot back to her because what is scary about Pegula is she's acknowledging exactly what I said. None of the ladies on tour look good. And if Pegula's honest with herself, like she is, by admitting that, she's going to work and train harder in the gym. Having won Toronto, she's got the confidence and knows that she can beat this level of play, this level of quality of product that's out there. She knows she's better than that. You heard Amanda say, look, I never want to play you again. Amanda beat Sabalenka. I think Pegula's a sleeper to win the U.S. Open. I really do. And I'll be honest with you. I think this is the last chance Pegula has to win a slam. I think this is it. You're catching all the ladies not in good form. Iga didn't even look good against Favara. You know, she's got a tough match against Marta coming up. And I want to see how well Marta does. If Marta can use her speed and explosiveness against Iga to win points, anything's possible. But what's wrong with Coco? Is it the relationship? Is it the time? Relationships take time. You're investing in a partner. You're talking on the phone. You're doing stuff. Is it the relationship? It's probably not. So I don't want to, put that out there. I don't think it's the relationship, okay? So it's not the relationship. But what do you guys think it is? I've said what I think it is. I think she's playing too strong, too physical, and that's draining. That type of style is draining. When you play big racket tennis, you get exhausted. And I think that's taking away from her bread and butter, which is defending, getting balls back, using her athletic ability, using her IQ, and playing smart, right? The players that can't overpower you or don't want to overpower you, they beat you by using their head. They beat you by constructing the point, by using their brains. And that's what Coco's done for most of her career. Now, she has the power, right? We all know she's got one of the fastest serves on record at the U.S. Open. She has the power, but I just feel the coaching now that she has, I think they're taking it overboard, with the power. I think if power is going to be the focus, then she's got to bulk up like she came into the season. Remember when she came in defending her championship at Auckland, how jacked up she was going into the Australian Open? She was very strong and physical, and she lost that weight. That told me that, look, albeit maybe a few pounds, but it's muscle. She lost that weight, and that let me know that she's comfortable where she is now with her size. Because anyone that's ever bulked up and gained weight, if you come back down and lose it, you're just not comfortable with it on you because something's going to compromise. There's always a compromise. It's normally speed. And I just don't think having her play big racket tennis, trying to blast and hit opponents off the court. You heard what Diana said in Toronto. I'm watching the match, and I called it first. I said, Coco's playing way too strong and physical. She's trying to just blast her off the court with these rockets. In the interview, Diana said exactly what I said. Diana said, Coco, her power today was just, oh my goodness, she was striking the ball so hard and strong. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't hang with this. And she's trying to do that, and I don't think it's a fit. And I think coaches, a lot of times, this is how they fail. They make the mistake of trying to change players, I think when you're a good coach, you motivate your player to bring out the best within them, right? You coach them to being better at what they're good at. In life, always focus on what you're good at and be stronger at that. You don't want to spend too much time trying to take areas where you're just not dominant in and try to become dominant because you're taking away from your gifts. And I think a lot of coaches try to change players. And right now I see Coco's game. It's trying to change too much. And I think early on the focus was to change it to beat Iga. When I've said, I think Coco's overthinking when she plays Iga, right? Because the head-to-head got out of hand so fast. Now it's like they're trying to put together these game plans when she's improved during that time period. Just play. Just one match, say, go play, problem solve, and see how she does. And that's the type of match where we've seen her win 4 service games in the first set, But nonetheless, guys, Coco's out. Will she win the U.S. Open? Comment below. Disappointing match. I just felt that if she played simple tennis, she would have beat Yulia. Let's take a look at the other scores. Elena Avanesian takes out Elena Ostapenko. Remember, that's a rematch of the U.S. Open. If you want to beat Elena, get balls back. Bring her deep in the rallies. She's going to make mistakes. Layla takes out Elena Rybakina. Again, Rybakina, she's not going to win the U.S. Open, guys, right? She's not in that script. Not going to happen. She does not look good. And this is a good one for Layla. The strong, short, fast, athletic players have always frustrated Rybakina. Svitolina takes out Buzis Monero. We shocked there. It's going to be a showdown, guys. Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, Sabalenka, Svitolina next. That's going to be good. Kruger, the magical run ends as Diana Snyder takes her out. Congratulations to Kruger. And she's one of those players I said, look, next Olympics in LA, she might be representing the United States. Sabalenka takes out Elizabeta. Ludmila takes out Magda Linette. Are we shocked there? No, but Ludmila's going to have a tough match coming up. Taylor Townsend takes out Dasha. Now, Dasha wasn't too thrilled about her view there in Ohio. Look, Ohio, if you've never been there, I've been to tournaments there in the past. It's a lot of cornfields, you know. It's a lot of open land. I mean, well, that's the case in a lot of states in America. There's a lot of land that it's just unsettled. By land, ladies and gentlemen. There's so much land in the U.S., especially once you get out west in the Midwest. It's just land. There's no one out there. Yulia takes out Gauff. We know that. That was a tough match for Coco Gauff, the future of tennis. Will she be back? She will, guys. She's still very young, but she's going through a phase here, and I just knew it. It's just, the Olympics was going to set her back. She lost the points from D.C. Luckily she did well at Wimbledon and the French Open. Lost her points there. She did pretty good last year at Toronto, but Western and Southern Open, she's out, guys. That's 1,000 points. That's a big blow. Mira takes out Pliskova, looks good. But Badosa over Anna Kalinskaya, another relationship. Yannick Sinner. Look, I'm telling you guys, since the relationship, she has not played well. Potapova loses to Jasmine Polini, who's going to take on Mira Andreeva. And I like Jasmine to beat Mira. Mira looks good. She's playing well. But Jasmine, short center of gravity. I think she'll push the issue. Badosa, gold medalist. Wow, amazing. Gold medal versus the silver medal runners-up. That's going to be a good match. Badosa, I think she beats Putintseva. Putintseva, get to the drop shot. She can really frustrate Badosa. But I think Badosa's deep ball, keep Putintseva back, keep her honest. She can beat her. Mukova and Pegula, it's going to be a good match. Mukova's defense is not good, but she can hold. And I think Pegula will hold. First set over 8.5. Sabalenka and Svitolina. Sabalenka, she doesn't look good. She doesn't look to be in her best form. And she said it. You can see it. She looks a little bit overweight, but again, Sabalenka's that type of player. She just needs a tournament or two because she practices so hard. That's telling me, again, new boyfriend. What's going on there? You know? How she didn't go to France. Why is she not in her best form? Hey, we'll take the first set over 8.5. We have Ludmila and Elena Avanesian. Elena's a big underdog. I like her to win at least one set. That's the pick. Diana and Layla. I'm going to take Layla to defeat Diana Snyder, especially after playing so well against Rybakina. And I like Iga Martikasiuk, the first set under 9.5. Those are the picks, guys. Enjoy. Like the video. Show some love. We are